welcome back to Coffee and Chaos. I'm Alina, your host, and I brought two of my normal co-hosts, Tom, Tony,
Yo.
and today we brought a special guest. Do you want to introduce her or do you want me to introduce her?
You can do it.
We brought
Not saying a word the rest
Yaya.
of the day.
This is my girl. She is the coolest thing ever. Tell us a little bit. So Yaya has a podcast, and I absolutely love it. When I watch it, I'm like in tears. It's hilarious. So tell us a little bit about your podcast.
Well, hi, I'm Yaya. I'm like, this is me. So a little bit about our podcast. It's a family podcast. We would always get together, and then one day we were just like, why don't we just talk about it? Let people know all this stuff, you know? So it's a bunch of us.
And it's bilingual, right?
It is. It's English and Spanish.
Oh, thank
we just
God.
talk about all kinds
No,
of
like I
fun
literally
stuff.
sometimes refresh my Spanish through that, and I'll have to pause it and go find that word in Google Translator. Like, okay, I know what that word is, and then I go
That
back.
is hilarious. Yeah. So we just go back and forth. You know, it's que bola. 26 is because it's 26 nieces and nephews.
Oh, wow.
So
wow.
yeah, so my mom's comes from a family of 8, and then all of us is 26 of us.
You'll never run out of gas, it looks like, huh?
No.
So-
Can you show a little clip of her?
That one right there of my aunt dancing, that would be hilarious.
wait.
Well, that's why her knees are all messed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this one here?
Wow.
Yeah,
let's
she
see.
talks about, you know.
I like her jersey.
I love her jersey.
Oh, I don't.
Her aunt is my spirit animal.
Hey.
Look at her. Look at her.
Yeah,
Get
she
it,
don't
get it,
care.
get
And
it.
I don't want to say her name, but look at her hair. Like
Why do I think of the song La Chona?
That is.
I knew it. See, I knew
That's
it.
probably what it is.
she's literally
funny.
my spirit animal. I
Yeah.
love
That
her.
is awesome.
She's the youngest one.
Oh, yeah, she was hurting the next morning.
Oh, yeah.
Her knees were like, oh.
Yeah, she's so funny.
And you're on YouTube.
Yeah, we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, and on Instagram. So if
Okay.
you guys want to follow us.
Please. All right, Solomon, how you doing, buddy?
Great. I'm eating cake.
German chocolate cake.
Yeah, and I was really surprised you were able to, keep it till today.
Well,
Because I
yesterday.
figured you'd come up with some excuse. Oh, somebody ate the last piece.
No, we had a small group yesterday because Seth didn't want a lot of people because it was his quote unquote celebration, and he doesn't like big parties.
What kind of celebration?
I got 2 college degrees now. I'm an educated mama.
There you go. That's dope. That's cool.
And it's funny because I have to say this, and we're only gonna spend 2 minutes on it because we're gonna have a whole podcast on it. On Saturday, I woke up and he didn't want to walk the stage, which was fine. Loran couldn't walk the stage when she was in college because she was off in playoffs. So it's okay. Both my kids told me no, but that's fine. But I woke up to somebody in my inbox who likes to always send me things about how women are just crappy. And it's somebody I know from Pedro that I grew up with. And so I entertained it. I don't know why, thinking like, and in the midst of it, of course, he's like, well, we could go to coffee and further this conversation. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But then towards the end, he said, women are easily replaceable, men are not. And I lost my shit. And then he said, it's your fault you guys have bad baby daddies because you picked them. You have no one to blame but yourself. So I'm like, I have 2 college degrees. I own a house. I take care of my grandma. I've raised 2 kids. But it's my fault that their dad is not around. I was so in my feelings, Solomon. I reached out to my boys to get some, I'm not going to cry right now because I needed some support. And neither one of these mother effers answered me until today. And this was on Saturday morning.
Mm.
Tony, Tom?
Yeah, but
Oh.
you didn't say what it was who this
I
was.
sent I screenshot it and sent the text.
I didn't know it was regarding to you.
I thought it was regarding to
I thought this was just something that you saw
podcast.
somewhere,
I
and you were
did.
just telling me about it, and I was like, oh, God, like, I'm not even going to entertain it, because
I was
I don't
just
know who it was,
I was just
what they were
busy. I'm
saying.
sorry. I apologize.
So all
I
day.
wasn't busy. I read it.
No.
But I didn't know what it meant.
You guys, she's
You
getting
didn't
mad.
elaborate.
She's getting mad for real right now.
Yeah.
Look at her.
And
can't
I got a text saying that it sucked.
But you know what? Yeah. So I sent him a text today and I was like, you guys suck. Obviously your phones are broken. And Tom's like, nah, mine works just fine. I texted Tony yesterday.
And I didn't even respond to Tom.
I was like, well, I know where I'm at on the list. I was like,
And you know what's funny? I just got into this I was in the conversation with Marlene about like that with support from guys and girls. I go, look, man, nobody fucking texts me shit all day. Like I reach out shit to my sons, right?
Right.
Hey, you know what? Send them stuff. They don't respond. Nobody's. I'm like, man. So it was like 3:00 in the afternoon. I said, fuck it. I'm turning this motherfucker off. Because no one sent me nothing all day long. I'm waiting
I did.
from the next day. Not this day. So nobody sent me nothing. I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to turn this on. I'm not going to be accessible to everybody. Just
You know
whenever
what?
the
I
hell
do
they
that
want
too.
me to
To
be.
be honest, I do that too sometimes.
Yeah, so I
know it's
turned it
supposed
off. I'm not going to look at the freaking, I'm not going to look at social media. I'm turning it off and I got a bunch of goals on and I want nothing interrupting me. I want to knock them all out. It's going to take me X amount of time. But then you get sidetracked. Well, shit, sidetracked. Speaking of getting sidetracked, when we're driving, like in the car over here, like we're going to try to have a conversation. Oh, just hold on one second, Tom. I got to take this call. Hold on one second.
I was gonna say that when we were sitting in the car right now.
So it's like not even worth the I'm like, well, I might as well even not go on a ride with her to catch up because you ain't gonna catch up because you're gonna be broken.
Tom's time is valuable. Remember, he's the prize too.
I'm so done. Oh my God.
So I turned my phone off the other day, like we were supposed to go or somewhere, and Marlene was like, "What the hell?" Like your phone. I go, "Oh, I'm just turning my phone back on. Like I'm not readily accessible to everybody. Just
I do that too sometimes. I put it on. What is it?
Somehow
yeah,
this was about me and my feelings, and you two
And
just
so
turned
now,
it.
but what I'm saying, and I told Marlene, go check it out. Let's go and look at yours. Look at your phone. Let me see how many phone calls you got today, how many texts you got, how many
don't be
Instagram,
looking at
from
my
how
phone.
many women. Like,
I was sitting in the car,
no,
in the back
so what
seat.
I'm saying is like when dudes go through shit, like, because dudes go through shit with their kids, with everything, and there's
Right.
some low spots, right? And you don't get no support like the woman. I
Right.
got 3 phone calls from my girlfriend. I got 10 texts. I got this. I got my kids. I got everybody.
Time out. But because you guys don't express yourselves.
No.
Uh-oh.
You don't call
Uh-oh.
Alina, or you won't
Uh-oh.
call Alina.
No,
and say,
I'm a
"Hey."
very much expressor. I'm
Uh-oh.
a communicating motherfucker. You know what I mean, I will let you know.
But how do we know you're having a bad day? Do you let us know you're having? Like I was
Get home
having.
and start throwing shit.
Yeah, I was having a
I'm
bad
fine.
morning.
Nothing's wrong.
Everything's good. It's like throwing stuff around.
But just in general, just it's just a man thing versus a woman thing. Women are just supportive. That's just who they are. They're just nurturers, right?
Right.
They're just checking on their girlfriends. They're checking on their mom. They're checking on their daughter. They're just always like, "How you doing today, girl? What's up?" Blah, blah, blah. And it's like that. But guys, we don't have that support. Hey, bro, how you
How's it
doing
going?
today?
I'm good.
Freaking-
Because
yeah.
if somebody did that,
Freaking-
if Tony sent you a text randomly and was like, "Hey, what's up?" Just saying hi, how are you? You'd be like, "What the hell's wrong with him?"
No.
Well, like what are you doing?
Not really.
No, he'd be
No,
like,
look
I'm
at
good.
your
What you're
face.
saying,
Your
I hit
face.
him up the other day. Hey, you want to go to the freaking swap meet?
But you hit him up to go somewhere, not to just say, "How are you? How's your day? Do you need anything?"
I'm gonna text you
cool?"
tomorrow.
Well, that's because nobody does it. So you're just like it's foreign to us.
It
You
is.
know what I mean? We
By
don't
the
check-
way,
we
this
don't-
isn't what our podcast is
I
about
know.
today.
I know, but you were saying how you were
I
going
said
through
2
this
minutes.
shit and
Yeah.
nobody.
But
We're
then
going
you
on
guys
for it.
turned it
Anyway,
into
sorry.
you guys.
No.
See, rabbit hole.
Whenever
That's why
I
we need
can,
bullet
and
points,
whenever
see?
he wants to listen, because nobody listens or
See?
calls me.
Nobody
so I
cares.
got my opportunity right now.
Nobody cares.
Nobody loves me.
Yeah.
Nobody
gives
loves
two
me.
fucks.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so our podcast is, and we're going to show a clip, but because we saw this and it was funny.
Correction, I saw it.
You two are some narcissistic asses.
Oh, please don't start throwing that word around. Because I challenge you to even know what that word means now sometimes.
Wait, who, me or in general?
No, just women throw that word around so much.
Oh,
especially
wait, like
in-
you guys threw around the word crazy and the B word. And...
Well,
Crazy.
I don't.
Okay, wait, can we get back to our podcast?
I don't
Okay,
know
so what we're
that.
talking about. See what happens? See what you started? You're
I
the
know.
problem.
So it's about, you're married, Yaya.
Yes, I am.
You were married, but now you're in a relationship. And, well, we all know my sad story. So anyways,
Wah, wah, wah.
do you,
Sorry.
the quote unquote work wife, work husband, and we're going to show the post and then we'll get into
It's
it.
about to get
It
boy,
is.
Here we go. Here we go.
Get us.
Let's see. There we go. What button?
She's hilarious.
Is it cheating if a man buys a woman he works with breakfast?
If I hit you with my left hand, knowing I'm right-handed, did you still get hit?
When I seen
that's-
that, I had to send it to you. When we were talking about, I was like, "Oh my god, this is perfect! Like this is just It's perfect.
Let's just say this before we get into. I think this happens more today than ever because more women are in the workplace than ever before.
Mm.
Yep.
I think a lot of people don't make big deals about anything anymore.
Women have been in the workplace for a long time.
So
Not as much as they are today, and not like if you take my industry 25 years ago, 30 years ago, it was like literally 0.5%. Now today it's definitely more.
Oh yeah.
So it's I think it's more and more that women work around men.
When in your particular industry, like what is the percentage of women to men?
Oh, now I think as an overall, women only still hold like 5%.
5%. Okay.
Yeah, it's still not a lot at all. So like for me particularly, I'm in an office now. I'm not outside it too much anymore. I work with 99.9% men.
Mm-hmm.
So they're around me all day. There's women that work there, but they're in different departments. So I don't work directly with them. My partner is a girl, but we don't work. Usually we hardly ever work together.
When you say partner, what does that mean?
There's three women. There's three of us in the office, and we kind of scale around each other. So when a vessel comes in, she'll take on one vessel, then I grab the next vessel. My partner, who's a guy also, he takes on the other vessel. Like we kind of just work around each other.
Mm.
So it's kind of confusing, but she's a woman. We used to work together a lot when we had 2 or 3 vessels at one time, but now that it's kind of gotten slow and it's only one vessel, I don't really work with her too much.
Kind of slow.
It is really slow.
Mhm.
It sucks. But I feel like there's more of these quote unquote work wives, work husbands because there's more women in the industry. So like Yaya, your husband works in construction kind of, right? Or what does he do?
He works with the pipeline.
Pipeline. Okay. So if he came home and was like, "Oh, Barbara bought me coffee this morning on her way into work," and she
I'm gonna
knows-
look for Barbara. Oh no, there's no Barbara here, honey. Oh no.
she said, "Oh no."
She didn't hesitate either.
No.
She didn't. No.
But it's more, I feel like, for me, like, would he be okay if I came home and said, "Hey, I'm gonna go with my work husband to lunch,"
well, if you called it that right off the bat, there'd
Yeah.
be freaking.
or even my
problem.
coworker, like,
Just
and
the
he's a
two of you.
guy, like, no. But you know what? I just feel like I would just have more of the respect. I wouldn't do that.
Well, first of all, right off the bat, right? But in a lot of different industries, especially, I mean, you might have to go to work. Like you're in sales, you're in the sales department, you're in this, you guys are working together, you guys are doing stuff. So it wouldn't be out of line that you guys would grab lunch. There's a lot of
Thank
industries that
you.
are out doing
Thank
stuff
you.
like that. That it may not look pretty, but it is.
Wait, why are you shaking your head? Why are
Because
you
you
shaking
always
your head?
have a choice. You're a grown ass man. You have a choice. You do not have to go to lunch with that woman.
So you have
could
you have
say-
a deadline, you have things going on, you have your boss, she's a woman, and you guys are going over all your figures. You're gonna grab some lunch and you're gonna sit down, and you're not gonna have lunch or discuss anything. Like for instance, when I came onto this podcast, right? The first time, where'd we go?
The three of us.
But we went to breakfast, and even if it wasn't the three of us, if you were just meeting him and he couldn't make it, and we met, and it's like, hey, meet me over here. It's a public place, whatever. We're gonna grab some bread. I want to go over some stuff, and I want to run this by you. It wouldn't be so far out of line in
But-
a lot of situations. I'm saying it can, and
I
if
agree.
it's done all the time, and there was a track record. This guy's going to lunch, like, hey, I'd have a problem with it too. But I'm
But if you
saying
guys
there
are-
are situations.
Okay, like you said, like if I didn't make it to that one lunch, you guys are both single,
Yes.
so there's no problem.
Yes.
With it.
No, but does your girlfriend know Alina?
I've met her now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I made sure.
But that was before.
Yeah, she had to
I
clear that.
wasn't with my girlfriend
Hold on.
before.
Okay,
But
that
even
was-
when we went to the
No,
concert,
I was all single too at the
Okay,
time, but
but-
I'm just using it as an example.
No. Yeah, that's a great.
Because like I had a
example.
sales rep, like I had a business, right? I had a business too. And I had sales reps that would come and they want my business for whatever, right? And there'd be times that I'm out running around, I can't catch up with you, like, but I'm gonna have lunch, I'm be in this area, you're gonna be in the area, and they'd come over and may try to get me to advertise with them or whatever like that.
Okay.
And it wasn't like, hey, I'm trying to go out with this person. It just so happens she's a female. Like, do we say, hey, well then, you know what, man? Like I'm not gonna do business at all with this
But
female
that's a
girl, and
business.
I'm gonna.
That's a.
I'm just we're talking
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
whole thing.
No,
you
like,
know?
okay, so in my situation, like my husband goes to work. I don't know anybody from his job. Nobody. Like absolutely nobody. Okay. So if maybe it would be different if I knew somebody, like if let's say the payroll girls,
Mhm.
right? Even this, like the girls at the dues office. Like I have to go
Yeah.
pay his dues, right?
Yeah.
I go pay them.
Right.
So they know who I'm there paying
Sure.
dues for.
Right.
You know, but if he was to be like, "Oh, I'm going to go with the lady."
Yeah.
No.
No, I'm not agreeing with that
No.
either.
Well, when we were going to the concert, remember we all went to the concert?
Right.
I was telling everybody like on a Sunday, oh, I'm going to the concert with da da da. And one of the kids, I think it might have been my daughter or Jackie, were like, wait, does Tom's girlfriend know you're going? I was like, slow down, killer. Tom's girlfriend's going with us. Because right away they were like, why are you going to a concert with just, because they know Tony's single, like with just Tom, where's his girlfriend? I was like, so even they know, like,
Yeah.
that doesn't fly.
So I guess it goes back to like what kind of job you do and
Right.
who you're around.
Right.
But me, I mean, I wouldn't if he was to come home like randomly and say like, "Oh, I'm gonna go grab lunch," then it's absolutely no.
Right.
If he was in a different job, maybe like I don't know, I'd be like, "Yeah, fool, I'm meeting you there." Like, let's.
So let
go
me
to
give you an
lunch.
example.
You know what I mean?
Because this happened at work the other day, and I
Okay.
was dumbfounded by it. If he came home today and said, "Oh, Lucy's car is broken down and she needs a ride
I'd
and
be
to
like,
work,"
Lucy better call her husband.
Better call AAA.
So-
I'd be like, let me send Lucy my AAA card.
Yeah, right.
the guys
I
at
got
work,
her. I got her.
the guys at work the other day, one of the other managers, her car was in the shop and she needed a ride to work and a ride home. So I asked one of the guys, I was like, "Hey, your fiance was cool with you taking her home?" And he was like, "Oh, well, like, yeah." But in my head, I was like, she doesn't know. And the other guy was like, "So you brought her to work this morning?" He was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Your wife's cool with that?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh, hell no. Like, if you were married to me, we would be boxing." Like, and at 5 a.m., this girl's getting, did you guys go get donuts and coffee too? Like, how cute is that? Like, I was like making fun of him and he was like, "What's wrong with you?" But we talked about this. I think it's a cultural thing. People like to say that us Mexican girls are crazy. I like to say we're possessive. This is ours. We protect ours. And some other woman is not going to do it. But I think people today, we said it, the respect thing, they don't care. It's just whatever.
Yeah.
Well, you don't even want to make it to your significant other look that way. To just even look bad, right? So
You
to
call
even
that-
give that, right? You don't, because then that just looks bad. So, whatever, like, hey, your girl's driving freaking this guy, like, and then, they're like,
And you get approached about
then
it. and you're
everyone,
like,
your people are looking at you like, what the fuck, dude? You let, that
Yeah.
kind of shit
This
go
is
on.
going to be the world's shortest podcast.
Even if that's not happening, it
because
just
you
look
guys
bad.
all agree. So
Well,
What else are we talking
can't know
about?
because Tom kind of didn't agree. Tom kind of said that he thinks that it should happen. I said, I don't think so. I
What
don't think
should
there's.
happen?
Well, here, let me ask you this: what are we talking? Are we talking about specifically the term work husband, work wife? Are we just talking about relationships in work or outside of work that are outside of your other relationships?
Well, I think we're talking about both. We're gonna you talk a little bit about both of it.
Yeah, and I don't think that, like, if someone's buying you coffee or bringing you lunch one-on-one, that should be happening.
Right.
Now, as a group,
Right.
like if Tom's going to get food for everybody and there's a girl in there, that's different.
Right.
But if Tom buys just Barbara food, that's not okay.
yeah.
Because then eventually that does become the term my work wife, my work husband. And I feel like that's how things start to happen. When you start to become friends, you start to buy each other things, you start to build a friendship. Next thing you know, Tom's now complaining to her about whatever Marlene's doing. You know what I mean? It goes like, that's how things get started.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you shaking your head, Solomon?
Okay, I guess what the reason is because there's lots of different circumstances. Let's say, for instance, I work closely with this lady at my job and we do the same thing or whatever. We're partners in whatever it is. If we go and get lunch, I'm not going to tell my wife and I'm not going to feel like I have to tell my wife because we're just going to get lunch. We're coworkers.
But that's your wife.
It doesn't matter.
So if she calls you,
Wow, so your wife doesn't matter?
So if she calls you
Yes.
while you're on that lunch,
Yes,
Will you answer the phone?
absolutely.
And then she hears her voice.
Yeah, I'll say, yeah, I'm having lunch with so and so.
with Barbara.
Yeah, with
So,
Barbara.
but on the flip side of that,
I literally think it's a cultural thing.
look,
man.
on the flip side of that,
Uh-huh.
you have a girl, your girlfriend, whatever, right? Your wife, and and she's acting like it's not a big deal that she went out with her trainer at the fucking gym to lunch.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
fuck
And
no.
there,
You
and
know, no. So when you start to dumb it down and act like it's not a big deal, and he's trying to get at you. Oh no, he's just trying to be my friend. He's just
Right.
nice. He's
Right.
just this.
Right.
He's just that. And you start playing that game. You know what? You're playing with fire, man.
right.
So
and
you
there,
So you can't even start entertaining that, like, and playing that game because
You wouldn't
right.
even shoot her a text like, "Hey, babe, I'm going to lunch with so and so. We're gonna grab lunch real quick. We're
no,
working."
we're working.
But what happens if
Oh.
you guys get in the car and you guys get in a car accident? Now you guys die together and your wife didn't know.
It would still be in the course of work, though. Do you know what I mean?
No,
like
I don't.
I don't
Well-
have an issue if my wife said, oh yeah, today I went to lunch with
Alina.
Kurt, my friend, the guy I know she works with at work. I wouldn't think anything of it. Now, if she said, Kurt invited me to go to, some high-end restaurant like Nobu, I'd be like, don't you think that's inappropriate?
I thought he
But
meant
you
I
don't
no.
think
there are
affairs happen at work when they're going to lunch all the time?
well,
all the
affairs-
time. That's the difference.
Yeah,
though, right.
and
That's
and
what we're
if-
But
talking
that's what I'm
about.
saying.
We're
once
talking about.
once you let that door open, then it's going.
No, but you guys got to understand, you don't need lunch to have that door open.
But that's how it starts.
No, it isn't how it starts. It starts by having two people in close proximity to each other, and they get to the point where they're starting to tell each other about other things that are going on in the
Over
game.
lunch.
And you don't need lunch for
Yeah.
that. You can work late 3 days in a week and have that. It's not about the lunch part.
Mm. So do you think it would be okay if she had quote unquote a work husband?
It depends, I guess. I don't know. I mean, okay, so let's
Oh,
look
it
at the
depends.
let's
Well,
look at
that
the
term.
definition.
Yeah.
I'm
Let's
breaking your
let's
face.
let's define what this is here real quick.
Well, me working at the restaurant, I've seen it plenty of times.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
bet you
where-
see
Oh,
a lot
you
of
see him
things.
coming in to do the lunch and do the whole deal.
day and night.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So that's where I mean,
You even more so are like,
Yeah.
got to pump the brakes.
no, there's no way.
Yeah.
I would not be okay with if I'm married. Again, I know I live in this quantum world, as Solomon says. If I'm married and my house is clean and there's food there and your clothes are washed and everything's good, and you're going to lunch with another woman and she's your work wife, absolutely not. Like
Well,
that's not.
I know, like before when we were double backing all the time, right? Me and Angel were double backing, and we were partnering at, we're going to partner up at that. And I'm up there grabbing some food. She's my partner, and I'm like, I'm getting a bunch of chicken. Do you want me to get some chicken while I'm here?
Yeah.
Because you ain't got time because you're running down there. Maybe you're grabbing our jobs or seeing what jobs are available.
Right.
And I just bring a bunch of chicken and on the back of the truck before we get in, we shovel the food down, right? And go to work because we're
So I guess there is.
so it all
exceptions,
depends on like how are you
There
every
But
day
my
bringing
sister
coffee and
also is there's no bullshitting with her.
right.
okay.
That's the difference, right?
Right,
Like if and you wouldn't have a problem introducing her to Marlene, like you didn't have a problem introducing me to Marlene. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like there was we went to a company party a few years ago and I was there on a date and one of the wives came up to me and I loved her for this. Absolutely loved her for this. She said, "I'm not very comfortable with my husband working with you."
I wouldn't be either.
And I said,
But
"Sweetheart,"
because she's hot as hell, not for any other
and
reason.
well, she said that. She was really honest. And I said, "Sweetheart, I don't look like this. When I go to work, I'm usually in my pajamas. I'm in a hoodie and sweats." And she goes, "Oh, well, I've been to their house twice now. Like, they're amazing." But for me, I loved her honesty where she didn't give me dirty looks. She wasn't like all pissed. She didn't just talk shit to him and now he's awkward with me. She came right to me, sat right down and just laid it out. And I was like, I like you. Like, she was honest. But knowing how she felt, I've never towed the line. I would never, ever make her feel uncomfortable. And I do know, and that's why when I do go to work, usually I do have a hoodie and jeans or sweats on, and I don't go to work looking.
So you down dress on purpose so that guys don't hit on you?
No, I down dress on purpose because I work with all guys. It has nothing to do with them hitting on me, but sometimes I dress cute if I'm going to go somewhere afterwards or if I'm feeling myself and I actually took a shower that morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I'm not going to lie. I don't.
Greasy hair.
Yeah. I don't, because I hate working in the daytime and the alarm goes off at 5:30. I shower the night before.
You could always switch.
So I shower the night before and I literally roll out of bed, brush my teeth, wash my face, put on some either jeans or sweats and a hoodie, and I'm out the door.
Got it.
So if I happen to take a shower that morning, so I do sometimes, but I work with all guys and I don't want to deal with it. You know what I mean? I don't want to when you're sitting there and you're the only girl with like 5 or 6 guys, I don't want to hear the shit. I've been through that. I've done it. I don't want to. No.
I would say though, like if I'm saying this, like, hey, it's not a big deal. I'm with Angel or this and that. So that's me seeing, and I don't see a threat in it. But then if you
Right.
said, but your girl's going out with, and it's not a big, well, wait a minute here. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I do see the double standard with that. I mean, I know that I'm not trying to hit on that, but it's still just the way maybe it looks and stuff like that. But it's also like these guys went to lunch 3 times this week, or he bought her coffee freaking in the morning, like every week, like, you know, like, yeah, now you're
Yeah.
crossing a line because,
Totally
or you're
agree.
getting rides all the freaking time. No, like, yeah, that ain't cool. Like,
Totally
all that
agree.
stuff.
I agree.
But I
with
think
that.
in a marriage, if you're married, like that's a huge thing. You respect your wife. You should. There should be no secrets.
There isn't, you know,
And
what
that's
I
the
do know though,
old-fashioned way.
what I do know, right, is about that. There's some stuff that doesn't, you know, it doesn't really matter, right? But then the minute you bring it up, right, is there's just stuff that, like he said, like I wouldn't even say nothing, right, about the lunch because it doesn't mean nothing, whatever. And all I'm doing is starting a fight, like, and so right away, like, you're no fucking way, Tom.
But
You
what
ain't taking
happens
her
if she finds out
and you're
later?
like, well,
What
it would obviously be then a fight, right?
Yeah,
And what
because
is
you didn't
what is
burn
there to
up.
find
But
out?
it's
though?
already going to be a fight with some people. They're going to fight right there.
Well,
so
that's
you're
like me. Like,
you know,
I had
man.
that, like with Monique.
Then you start hiding shit just because it doesn't mean nothing. It's like, man, you're like you're creating some bad freaking like.
Well-
So our work, Angel and I, that came up like with my wife. You know, when I was married. You know, like your friend. You know, we're trying to. She's networking, finding out. Hey, tonight there's a finish up right here. It's going to be done real quick. Hey, let me know if you're going to double that. Are you coming tonight? I'll grab the jobs. So you're texting each other on a normal basis, right?
But
I'm
she
covering
doesn't
you. You're
understand
covering.
that because she doesn't know the job.
Yes,
so she's
and so
from the outside.
And
looking
I can agree with
so
Tom on
just
that
to like just leave that alone. I wouldn't tell her. I wouldn't. Matter of fact, before I would leave, all my texts are on my shit. Like I don't change. I wouldn't hide nothing and
Right.
get rid of shit.
Right.
So I have it all there. So she goes and what the fuck, right? But now because you said that and you're acting weird, and I was like, even one day, Angel came to the house. She was looking at my neighbor's truck to buy, and I was like, hey, you can meet my friend Angel. I'm fucking meet your friend.
I would be like that too,
right?
though.
You know
I
what?
would be like that too. I
That's
want
true,
to
'cause,
know.
like,
Meet your
that's how
fucking
it was.
I
friend,
would be
right?
like that.
And then Angel's
I-
like, hey, Tom, I'm sorry. You know, it's cool. And I'm like, no, that's fucked up. You know what?
But-
Because I don't, you know, if you have a friend at work, I'm not going to be disrespectful to that. Yeah, I might
I
talk to you
understand that
later.
part. Yeah,
I might say, hey, you know what? Fuck that dude, or
Right.
no, I don't want you around. But to do that in front of, like, that is just fucked up. And then, I'm trying to be open to my woman.
Yeah.
I don't try anything on the phone. You
Yeah.
can read them all. And then on top of it, I'm trying to introduce you to my friend so that you'll be like, oh, I know who she is. And you're still, so there's like, now you get a point where guys are just like, fuck it. You know what? Next time she texts, delete. And
Because you don't
I'm
wanna
not
argue.
gonna,
You don't wanna
I'm not
fight.
gonna, I'll be honest with you. I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna not be friends with Angel because she's a real one. Like she's been real to me, right? And whether my woman has a problem with it, baby, you better get over it, man. And there's a trust. Me and you need to trust each other.
Yeah.
There
I love you.
go. There
I
you
trust you. You trust me. And
But you,
this,
came,
that.
But
you
that's
came
where it
with
comes
that.
into a factor.
But hold on. But so now that he's with who he's with,
Yes.
he came with Angel. So it's like
It's
it's not
different.
like he met Angel
After.
Yes, because you meet her after.
true.
Why are you all of a sudden friends with her now? Why wasn't I your friend? Like enough for you?
And you know what?
So that's a package deal. That's
and
a little
that's
different.
that's how I am like
Because-
now. Because you know what? With anybody I get in a relationship now, for instance, I'll use you as an example. Met you before I met so and so or whatever.
Barbara.
Yeah, Barbara. You know what I mean? Barbara.
Barbara.
I'm not gonna end my relationship with you because
Yeah.
Barbara's like, oh no,
Yeah.
no. I'm sorry. You know what? I've come really close to Alina. This is my girl. This freaking. It's
Yeah.
like a sister to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep that
But you
relationship.
came
I'm sorry.
with that.
Okay.
When
Alina,
you're
are you softening your stance because?
No, no,
and it's
absolutely
okay if it's okay if you are because
Oh my man. No. So
you
this
have reiterated many times that if I have friends or whatever, I'm cutting everybody off if I have a man because this.
if
is my
I hold on, if I met Pablo today, since that's my name
Yeah.
for him, if Pablo and I meet today, and Pablo's like, "Hey, I'm not cool with Tony and Tom," I'd say, "I get that, but they're on my podcast. Like, we're not just homies. Like, they're helping me. So I'd have to cut him because
Right.
I'm not going to quit my podcast. Now I have other guy friends that are just my homies, if he was like, hey, I'm not cool with you talking to Robert, I'd be like, Robert's gone, homie. Like, I ain't even
Bye.
tripping off Robert. Like, I've been waiting for you forever. Come here, Pablo. Like,
I need my roof
yes,
fixed.
come here, baby.
My
So-
squeaky back door.
And now it's my front door on the bottom little. Anyways, so I have a million things wrong. So no, I'm not softening my stance at all because I feel like I am enough. If I am with Pablo and Pablo's out and about for his day and he calls me, he was like, "Oh, me and Lisa grabbed lunch." I said, "Well, I hope Lisa's washing your drawers tonight too, homie, because you ain't coming home." Like, absolutely not.
Well, it's like some of my friends that I made that I casualed with, 15 plus years working together, and if I'm getting a new relationship, I don't like you talking to Mo. I don't like you talking to my best friend Christina. I'm sorry, I'm not getting rid of them. I'm not. Like they helped me get through what I got through.
Yeah.
Shit.
You
You know what I
man.
mean? As friends, I'm sorry. And if they have a problem with it,
Okay, so what about you and Barbara get together today? And you guys are pretty serious, 6-9 months going into a year. And now all of a sudden you met somebody new at work. And you're going home talking about her all the time. You don't think she's going to be mad?
oh no, I would
Yeah,
respect
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I would
I'd be
respect
out.
that. Be like, okay, cool. You know what? Let me delete all these texts. No, I'm kidding.
Ah.
No, I'm kidding.
So, like,
no,
I'll
I'm
use-
joking. I'm joking. I am joking.
My
no,
ex, the
I would
Puerto
stop
Rican
talking
guy,
to that individual.
yeah, that I was with for like off and on, like I said, for 6 years before. When I met him, he didn't have any female friends. He never had female friends. So it would have been odd if he would have said, "Oh, I'm going to lunch with so and so, or I'm doing this," because he didn't. That wasn't his thing. He had a bunch of guy friends. He had a bunch of sisters. He had a daughter. He had all this stuff. I never worried or questioned or second guessed. Like, I knew the one thing he would never do is cheat. And he was also a bit crazy where if I said, "Oh, well, me and so and so," he's like, "The fuck you are."
Well, I guess it comes back to the same thing as what kind of work wife and work husband.
Yeah.
And what your husband does. So where my husband works, there's no females there. There's no female welders.
Right. Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So right now he's in the middle of the desert. I know he's out there and there's
Nothing
But what
out there.
about you?
nothing out there.
But what about you?
Oh, if I were to come home and I tell him, oh, he would kill me and him. No.
So,
questions
but
asked.
you
Let me
work
not
with,
follow you on it. No kidding.
Yeah, no. We don't like.
and he
we don't
would,
follow.
and he would.
We don't follow each other on social media. He doesn't have social media.
So, okay, so do you
Okay.
think that helps?
Yes.
I mean, because you kind of at some point have to have your own little life, a different, not your own life, but your
Social?
own like space.
But he doesn't have it, so that's
He doesn't have it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have it only because my business page and my personal page had to
Yeah.
be different. Like
Yeah.
I didn't want to put my kids on my
Right.
business page,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So that's why I have it.
Okay.
But other than that, I mean, I don't have random friends or followers or whatever on there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But you work
Like,
with
I
guys at the
respect that.
restaurant.
Yeah, but he knows that those guys, like, they know. And I respect him and myself.
They
You know?
they'll get shot.
No, like, they know.
Don't look
Like,
up. Don't look
you're-
up. Don't
you know
look
what
up.
I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They can say and do what they want, but they're not, they know to respect.
But do you think that if you were to go to lunch with somebody, like as Solomon said, which really bugs me, I'm not going to tell my wife. Like, would you have? I feel like that's a respect thing. Like, you're
It is a respect
married.
thing because guess what? Later on, when I'm washing your jeans, and if I find that fucking receipt in your pocket, it's not going to be okay because now you're hiding.
Bam.
Or
See,
if I go
and,
in your
and that's
truck,
the point. I don't think it's hiding anything. I think it's work relationship. It's just working with people. That's the way I look at it.
yeah, but I guess only because like if your wife works with men. But in my situation, like, yeah, if I work at the restaurant, I work with men, you know, but they're all fucking midgets. And he knows, like, damn well that I'm not going to go that route. You know what I mean? Like, and at my shop,
Yes, her husband is tall and handsome. In case everybody's wondering,
you know, I mean, and then at the shop, it's
Yeah.
nothing but girls,
yeah.
you know? And yeah, I mean, there's nothing for me to say like, oh, I'm going to go to lunch with the salesman or nothing there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's your,
Yeah.
your field is
It's
it's
doesn't-
not. It
it's
doesn't open
not.
that door. Like me,
Right.
when we were casualing, I had one of my coworkers that's probably like 12, 13 years older than me, right? She's an older lady. Like, so we'd go grab lunch. I'm like, Tom, you want? I'm gonna go get some broccoli and fucking soup. Or
So if
whatever.
it was
like,
basically
it
like
was
a
like-
Barbara, and she's like,
yeah,
"Oh,
it
let
was
me see who Barbara is."
Oh, hell
okay.
yeah! Like
She's
it's
like
dark.
90.
It's at nighttime. You know, hey, I'll go with you
Yeah.
for the ride, and
Yeah.
you know, it's fucking Long Beach, like shit. You know,
Alina, are you
there's a
okay with
subway.
that?
So I would go with her, and like, they're not going to be no. Like,
Alina, are
come
you
on,
okay?
I'm not
Would you
gonna
be
go
okay
out
with that?
this-
Would you be okay with
What
that?
did you say?
I said, are you okay with that?
It depends. When I started on the docks, I was 23. So if my man was 23 and she's 10 years older and she's 33, hell no. But now that I'm 50 and she's like 63, go ahead.
Wow.
And my thing is, I wonder
Right.
because we talked
Get that
about this
discount.
we talked about on the way here. Yeah. You guys have been together how long?
We've been together for 20 years.
So is that old school love mentality that has just where you guys have always respect each other? It's just the two of you. There's no questions asked. That's never changed.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know what it is, but if he leaves once he leaves that door, there's absolutely no questions. Like I trust the man with my entire
And he's
life.
never given you a reason not to.
No.
Because he knows you'd kill him.
No. And
Well,
the same thing
yeah.
with
It's
me.
not because of that. Because
No,
you kill
because
him.
he knows.
He loves her.
I think we said that. I said two
Yeah.
things to her. I asked her, I said, is it because he genuinely is still in love with you? And two, because he knows losing her and losing everything, it just would never
Well,
be
not
worth
just
it.
that, but it's what he's reciprocating too. If you're giving him peace and you're doing all those things to well respect him to make sure that nothing's looking out of character and you don't want him to look bad in any kind of way, like man, a guy would be like, that's my woman right there.
Like, see, I
she
would
conducts
never-
herself like a lady.
Lady.
Like
Yeah.
I would never do something for him to doubt me or for him
Right.
to if he leaves and he goes to work, he's out of town right now and he's
Right.
going to be gone for 3-4 days. I don't know. I don't ask him when you're leaving and when you're coming back because guess what? When he comes back, the house is going to be the same.
Right.
I'm going to be there. His kids are going to be there.
But there's so many women that just play real, like either they're dumb, they're really dumb, or they're just plain dumb half the time to be like, oh my God, it was not a big, they're just being nice.
just
or
working.
Just talk. I'm just
Oh,
a
she's
worker.
not like that.
Yeah,
I'm just a
yeah.
this and that. So what I'm saying, like you really have to right? It's a cognizant
What did-
effort.
What did you say on the way here that somebody was touching your hand and you were like,
Because we were, okay, so I have an older son. He's 16 years old. So he plays baseball and we were mingling with
The other
friends or whatever, the other parents or whatever. So we're standing there by the bar and we were talking. He's a pitcher, so we're talking about what he should do. Like 2 fingers, this finger he has to hold the ball a little tighter, whatever. So he's like touching my finger, explaining, and I'm thinking to myself, "Oh my God!"
This is your son touching your finger?
no,
No, it's a
Oh,
dad.
the dad that's
One of the
telling
baseball
me
dads.
how what he's talking about,
Right.
right? So then I'm like, but then again, like everybody's just friendly and touchy, and I'm more like, oh, please don't touch me because my husband's gonna kill us, like
Right.
But it's more of like respect. I just feel like I wouldn't want a woman coming up to my husband and like,
Right.
like no,
Yeah.
don't touch my husband.
Yeah.
Like that's just me.
We took a picture yesterday. We're at the swap meet. And this girl, right away when we get there, she's like, can I take a picture with you? Right?
Dang.
So we get there, right?
I can no
And
longer go with him.
So she gets like, I got Marlene on one side of me, right? And she stops and she looks at Marlene. She goes, I wouldn't let no woman touch my man. Because I'm like, it's cool, we're just taking a picture all together. And she goes, I wouldn't let no woman touch my man. So is it okay if I take a picture on this side of you?
yeah.
And Marlene's like, yeah, it's
See, but
cool.
that's a sense of
You know what I mean?
respect.
Yeah, that's the
that's
respect.
cool, right?
Yeah.
That's very much a lot of respect.
what nationality
It is.
was she?
She's Mexican.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I guess
She knew.
that's where it
She
goes.
knew.
Like-
Exactly. She knew. She knew. Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I think at the end of the day, it comes down to the two people having a conversation saying, this is what I'm comfortable with and this is what I'm not. Because even with Yaya, right, with your husband, you guys have that understanding of this is who we are, this is what's good enough for us, and this is what we won't tolerate. Somewhere along the line, you guys came to that understanding to say, look, here's things that are okay, here are things that are not okay on either. And you guys agreed with that, which is why you've been together for 20 years. And that's great. I mean, that's a good thing.
Did they agree to it, or was it just an unspoken rule?
It could
'cause
be,
you guys
it
know.
doesn't matter. It could
Well,
be
but
unspoken
but I'm
or
asking
whatever.
her.
yeah.
Did you?
Well,
you-
look, let me tell you
Gee.
something. Okay, so we
Let
did
me tell
split
you
up for 2
something.
years. When my son was a year old, him and I split. We were young.
Yeah.
We were super young. I was 16 years old. I'm 36 years old. Okay, when I started dating him. I had Julian when I was 20 years old. Okay, when Julian was a year and a half, hey, Mike was 21, 22. He was living his fucking best life. But guess what? I had to be a mom.
Yeah.
And I respected it, And I said to him, either, we do this as a family, or you figure your life out and yourself out and you let me know when you're ready to,
Yeah.
to do this. So whatever, we split for 2 years. And those 2 years, I mean, when we got back together in 2 years, He did his thing, and I went out and I did my thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I never knew what or who or anything. And same with him. When we got back together, he and I both said, the only way this is going to work is if we move on forward. I don't want to hear about the past. I don't want to hear about anything or nothing. You respect me from here on, and I respect you.
Yeah.
And that's how it should
And you
be.
keep pushing.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's
And
just-
it never.
But you
nothing.
didn't never had to tell him, oh, you can't go to lunch with the
No.
girl. That's just an
No.
unwritten rule. Like we know.
No,
right?
yeah. If he was to come to me and tell me, like, hey, babe, I'm going to go out with
Barbara.
Barbara, there's no way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Barbara? You're going out with
Love
Barbara?
that name. Love Barbara.
I would be like, wait, excuse me,
We got
since when
Barbara
did your
and
mom
Pablo.
change her name to
To
Barbara? You know, that's what I would say.
Your sister's name is not
like,
Barbara. Like,
excuse
yeah.
me? No.
Mhm.
You know, because the same thing with him. Like, I can't come home and say, like, hey, babe, you know what? I'm going to go have lunch with fucking John.
Well, can I
You'd be
ask
like,
you, did that ever happen?
Me?
Yeah.
Has
Did
it
I
ever
go?
happened?
Did
like,
that ever happen where he said, hey, I'm going to do this, or you said, hey, I'm going to do that, and then one of you said no?
No.
It's
Never.
never happened.
That's what I'm saying. It's an unspoken rule. You just know.
But I think it's more about the couple than the culture. though.
Well,
No, because the other day at
I would
work,
say, like,
I think it's a cultural thing.
See,
I
I
don't,
don't,
my
I don't think
ex-
it's a culture thing.
my ex-wife, she was in the trucking business, right? And she's a dispatcher for a trucking business. And when she first started, there was a couple sales guys where she was at. And then she'd been in the business forever, and they moved on to other trucking companies. One started his other business. One helped me when I started my business to get all my trucks and stuff. And I used his people and stuff like that. But she's like, and he was kind of soft, you know. He was married, but it looked like he had potential, you know,
Okay.
to go
the
right?
other way.
The other way, right? So I wasn't worried. When I'm going to go out, and we're catching up, and I'm going with so-and-so to lunch, right? I was like, okay, big
But-
deal. He's in town. He's in the area, like
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not going to be
Yeah.
like, I know who he is. I've met him, like,
Yeah.
you know. So, you know, in that case, it wasn't like, oh, I'm tripping, right?
Well, I asked this question at work the other day with all the guys that, mind you, buy me lunch, buy me coffee, but as a group, right? It's not one-on-one. And I was telling them that, and they were saying kind of what Solomon's saying. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, absolutely not. Later that night, we're all at the Dodger game because they had a big suite for the company. And so, like, we went. One of the Mexican guys was there, and I was like, oh, Sergio, come here. I said, if you told your wife today that you bought me a Starbucks, he goes, oh, my balls would be gone. I said, hold on. What if you said that I'm going to lunch with Lena tomorrow? He's like, oh, my.
Another body part.
He said, yeah. He
Hey,
said,
but it very
and-
much matters.
I
how
seen it on the
she
news.
looks.
Yeah. So
How that girl looks.
So, but all the guys around him, which were not Mexican, that's all I'm going to say, were like, what? And I was like, thank you, Sergio. He's like, and he said, he looked at me and he's like, you know how we do it. I was like, oh, yeah. Like, so that's why I feel like it's a cultural thing. It's kind of an unwritten rule. We are very possessive, protective,
It's more
Territorial.
like territorial.
territorial. Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay,
I
but-
wouldn't consider myself toxic. Like, if
Oh, no, I
my
don't think
husband
you
would
are at
come-
all.
No, like if he would come home and tell me, like, I guess it all depends on where he works and how, you know.
Yeah.
So there's no woman
I
there.
think there's a little level of that that's good, you know? Like a little bit of it. You want to know that, hey, man, like she really
yeah, she
gonna protect that, right? And
Yeah.
she's not gonna let
she's gonna make her presence
she's
known.
gonna- yes, like, you know, so she's a little bit jealous. Like, that's okay to be a little when you're out of control crazy. Okay, well, maybe.
well, let me tell you guys a
You
little
know.
story.
Oh,
We were at a
story time.
concert, right? We were at a concert, and there was a drunk girl next to him.
What concert I want to know?
It was Grupo Firme.
Okay.
She's next to him. So we're whatever. So she turns around and she kept touching him. She kept touching him.
Yeah.
So the second time she touched him, I turned around and I said, that bitch touches you one more time and I'm a fucking swing. And he's like, trade spots with me. Straight up.
All right.
Well, turned and traded spots with
Yeah.
me. But it was like, and he was just kind of like, I mean, he's just standing there. She
Yeah.
was like, like trying
Yeah.
to mingle with him. And it's
Oh
like,
man, girls are horrible. We've been out dancing before.
Yeah.
And the girl's over there and she's like looking, and she's doing all this whole thing, right? And my girl's like, I fucking see the bitch, right? She keeps on fucking. And then she gets up and she's rubbing, like, keep in mind, I'm kind of got my back to her, but she's rubbing her butt on the back of my butt. You know what I mean? Like making sure she's touching me, and I'm just like, oh fuck, man. Like these, and like
See?
bitches are crazy.
They're crazy, and that's just how it
They
is.
want to
but-
see if they can get.
How far they
and
can
I
go.
had to,
And I
I had
feel
to do
like-
the same thing. All right, we got to, I got to
Yeah.
get over here, like get away, like fuck, man.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's
Hey,
why
I'm glad I don't have
said-
to deal with that.
I don't do. I feel like if I was in a relationship, I would be with the type of person who just knows. It wouldn't have to be spoken.
So you in a relationship, I just want to be good. You wouldn't go like if your girlfriend's like, hey, we're gonna go to Vegas for the weekend. You wouldn't go, right?
Probably. Well, it depends. Like, what are we going for? Are we going for
Somebody's
specific-
birthday.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Why wouldn't I go?
So you would leave your husband at home and go out with a bunch of women to Las Vegas for the
yeah,
weekend.
but my friends aren't wild and crazy. They're not going to a strip club.
Okay.
They're not going to like.
And that's the point. I can tell you a lot of men who would be like, oh yeah, you might as well pack your bags.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
is it- but
I
no.
would go, but now, mind you, if the guy that I'm with,
Yeah.
mind you, I'm 50 now, so I'm not 18 or 20, and I have the rest of my life. If Pablo finally came in my life and I was like, oh, I'm going with the girls to Vegas, he's like, babe, you're not going. I'm like, sorry, I ain't going. My man said no. Like, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't have to go
If
because
it bothered him.
my thing is I finally got this person. I'm trying to spend the rest of my life with them. And it could be 10 more years. It could be 20 years. I'm not young anymore.
Right. Well, at the end of the day, you guys came to that relationship understanding of what's acceptable and what's not. Because at the same time, you probably wouldn't want him to do that either, right?
No, like if he's, to Vegas, no. If he was
No.
going golfing for a weekend in Palm Springs or he was going fishing for a weekend.
Or hiking, yeah.
Yeah, but you're going to Vegas for a weekend with the guys.
No.
That's
It
different.
definitely
Yeah.
depends on your girlfriends, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
yeah, if you
So-
got
If
a
he
little
says-
bit wild, little
Yeah,
like
if he
you
says,
going
I'm
to
going
Vegas, you
to-
said Vegas, yeah, I might be like,
Yeah.
nah.
If he said I'm going to Havasu for Memorial Day weekend with my guys, I'd be like, are you packing all your shit to go with you
There
too?
you
Because
go.
you ain't coming back.
There you go. And that's what I mean. It just means
I would have been like, no,
you
you're
got
coming with.
communication between two people. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go to Havasu.
But I think that sometimes I'm going to go back when I was very young. When I was with Javier, there was no communication needed. I already knew, and she knew Javier. There was no communication needed. I knew I didn't feel like getting dragged somewhere. So I was
She
like,
said dragged.
I was like, no communication.
Like a caveman.
I already know what he would and would. And believe me, I tested it too many times. But I was like, no. But there was never like, you can't do this, you can't. We just knew. But it might have been because we were so young and so in love. It was like, this is just what we wanted was each other. We didn't want anybody
Anybody
else.
else.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, our kind of time's up, guys. I know we kind of went.
That went fast, huh?
It did. Well, Solomon was like, this is going to be the
shortest podcast
Yeah, like you were
ever.
so
I-
negative before it even started.
No, I had to get it and disagree. You guys were too agreeable. over there. Even Tony.
No, because Tom was trying to play devil's
A
advocate.
little bit.
A little
was.
bit.
Until it like switched up on him, and then he was like, "Oh no, my girl can't go
Yeah,
nowhere."
yeah.
Well, I really had I was like, fuck no to this whole thing. Like, you got him, you're
You
mine.
were, yeah.
Yeah, no, it would not be
So
cool
what
with
if
me.
your girl now was like, oh, I'm going to lunch with my friend that you
Pablo.
never heard about? No, Pablo's my man.
Well, we had this conversation, right? Because knowing about what the podcast was going to be. And there's like a real young kid that works with her, right? He's like 23 years old. Like, and she's all the girls kind of train him because he don't even know him. These girls are like 50 and their 40s, you know? If she was going to lunch with them, I would be like, come on, man. Like, really, I got to be like, I got to be a little confident with
Yeah.
him.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Oh
And
no, you better be careful because these older women like the young guys.
then go.
Yeah.
Then go. I could do it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
can't
Like,
trust
if
and
that's
better.
what you
What's up
want,
with that?
like, I got to have some kind of, that's cool if you want to do
but
that.
you
I think-
are right.
I'm not.
They do.
But it also
I've
depends
made it
too
clear.
on just the individual alone, like Tom or like myself, on how confident we are. Be like, hey,
Yeah, if that's your thing,
23-year-old,
man, go for it,
That
man.
could be my kid. Hey, I'm not worried about freaking.
Seth said something about an older
Little
woman
guy.
once, and I was like, you do not have mommy issues. You do not need to be over with a woman older than 5 years older than you. He's all, what? I was like, I better not hear no cougar come looking for you. You don't got mommy issues because a lot of these young kids have mommy issues. So they look for the older women.
But that's not the only reason.
No,
look for the
they
older
have their
women.
shit together. These older women already
Yeah.
have a house.
Yeah.
They have their
No.
shit.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
fuck it.
Yeah.
let's go
No,
with
I
this
agree with
girl.
you saying. You're
I
right.
don't
You're
care
right
how
100%,
much
but
the girl got her shit together. I don't care how much money she's got. I don't care any of that. If someone was just like, because people talk, oh yeah, you should go out. Please, man. No, I'm not. I don't care. Like, oh, she makes $1 million. I don't care.
Don't you
But that's
think
because
I
you have
don't
your
care.
shit together.
Yes.
That's
You
why.
know?
But don't you think it's odd at your age, like if you were to date a 20-something-year-old girl, like that's kind of pedophilish? Or
No,
what,
it
how do you say
No,
that?
it
Yeah,
isn't.
it can
What is
look
the word?
sicko.
What is the word? How do you say it?
But I also, being this young guy, like, and I see some of these guys, they're not even that young, but that let the woman, because she's got her shit together. I'm looking at like weak, chump, lame. Like, I don't respect you, really. I don't have it for you. So for me, I couldn't do that. Like, I got to have my own. I got to be like my
Yeah.
own man.
But that's
So,
you, because we know how
I ain't
you
doing
are.
that. I don't
He's an
care how
animal,
hard.
Mr. 300.
I don't care.
This is Sparta. All right. Thanks so much, you guys. Please follow on YouTube. There's TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcast. And it's coming up on a year, guys.
Wow.
Cool.
I went by really
Wow.
quick.
I gave myself a year, and then I said I was only going to do it for a year. But
So are we waiting to hear if you're going to do another year or
Well, maybe the
or
next
what?
podcast.
I don't know. We're debating it and figuring it out. We'll let you guys know.
We got to go
Look
down
at
my
Tom.
list.
Tom's like, no, we can't
No, I'm not-
stop.
yeah, we cannot stop.
Yeah, I'm
No.
seeing some fake
The
drama.
momentum
over
is
there.
just getting going.
Wait, we were talking
I
about
still
when.
got to finish my list.
Remember when you guys first started and
Yeah.
you guys were all shy, and now look.
I mean, I don't think I was.
I'm
I
still
was
shy. I'm
You
still
weren't shy.
No, I wasn't.
He was more shy. And now
Tom
he
was like
can't-
this. He was, so this is what I think. And now he's like, fuck that, fuck this, hell no. Catch me on TikTok. No.
Catch me at Santa Fe. All right. Well, thank you so much. Yaya, thank you so much. And please don't forget to go check out hers. Hers is on YouTube. It's called Que Bola. What is it again on Instagram, though?
Que bola underscore, no.
Que,
Que underscore bola 26.
26.
For
Thank
us,
you guys.
for us non-Spanish speaking, what does that mean?
Que bola, it's like what a bunch.
Oh, nice.
So it's like a bunch of us.
Oh, then the 26.
And-
Got it.
And they're hilarious together.
Yeah, I definitely got to check it
Yeah,
out.
so
Yeah,
it's
it
like
is.
my cousin, my sister, and our aunt, the youngest aunt. A
Cool.
little bit of everything.
It's okay to follow you, right? No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Her husband doesn't
Her
have
husband
social
likes
media.
you.
I'm just joking.
He knows what kind of woman he has.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Until next time. Bye, Solomon.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.